Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. I'm Kish Latterly. Thanks so much for joining us. The Bahamas and the United States have solidified their agreement on narcotics control as officials sign the 8th Amendment to the Letter of Agreement on Narcotics Control and Law Enforcement at the Office of the Prime Minister today. Altaviz Munnings reports tonight that one of the goals of the agreement is to address corruption.
Signing the amendment of the Letter of Agreement on Narcotics Control and Law Enforcement between the Bahamas and the United States provides over $1.4 million from the United States government for law enforcement professionalization support and the rule of law, transparency, and anti-corruption reform in the Bahamas. Add to that assistance in legislative reform and the creation of anti-corruption organizations. Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Darren Henfield, touted this gesture from the Americans as he acknowledged both countries shared history and common heritage.
Most importantly, however, we share common interest in combating drug trafficking and crime, because a safer Bahamas is a safer America.
Standing on behalf of the United States was U.S. Chargé d'Affaires Stephanie Bowers, who outlined how an executive order signed by United States President Donald Trump underscores that corruption undermines the values that form an essential foundation of stable, secure, and functioning societies.
Taking on corruption is a tremendous challenge for any government. It takes unwavering leadership and resolve to push for increased transparency. In any system where there is corruption, there are those who gain from it. These corrupt individuals stand to lose a great deal when a government decides to tackle corruption. But when a government succeeds, the people of that country do too.
Since the agreement was signed on September 24, 2010, it has provided equipment, training, and technological opportunities by law enforcement of the United States for officers of the Royal Bahamas Police and Defense Forces, as well as the Department of Corrections. Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Hubert Minnis says his government remains resolute in its commitment to address corruption.
The additional support from our neighbor will help to facilitate the advancement of three of the government's key priorities, namely, to advance our national security strategies to reduce crime, strengthen our borders, and reduce the recidivism rate for a safer Bahamas.
Put simply, corruption costs a country jobs and economic growth, and it forces a government to compensate for lost revenue by raising that revenue through other means. These issues also directly affect the United States and the security of our people. As the United States increases border security, we must also have trust in the systems of our partners.
Prime Minister Minnis also noted that the scope of these amendments to the existing agreement regarding anti-corruption and transparency will support public sector modernization and the ease of doing business.
This lends well to the aggressive targeting of systematic corruption by my government, which aims to reduce the significant burden which corruption places on the public purse, to further stimulate foreign direct investment by enhancing confidence in our institutions, to improve the quality and standard of government services, and to decrease the level of inequality.
Altaviz Munnings, ZNS Network News.